All right, we're going to look at number 2. It has a minus sign in it. That's going to be really important in a minute as we start to pencil things in. Remember, we want the m to the 5th n term. That's going to be the coefficient here on this second term. Remember that the powers of m wind down 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, none. And the powers of n wind up. They go from 0 to n to the 1st. But I really have to do it like this. I really have to remember that this is m plus negative n. And it is the powers on negative n. So as I go to add them in, I really need to think of negative n to the 1st power. It was to the 0 power here. It's to the 1st power here. Here it's going to be negative n to the 2nd. Here it's going to be negative n to the 3rd. Here it's going to be negative n to the 4th. Negative n to the 5th. And negative n to the 6th. Okay? Well, we can calculate all those. We're going to have to go to GCC here. We can calculate all those. Negative 1 to the 1st power is going to put a negative sign in front of this term that we're interested in. M to the 5th and n to the 1st. Here, the negative squares, and you end up with a positive sign in front of the m to the 4th n squared term. And the m to the 6th term doesn't change. Out front, there's a coefficient. Let me scooch this over so we have room for the coefficient on it, whatever that would be. M to the 4th, keep in mind, negative times a negative is the positive n squared. One more of those negative terms here because it's a negative times a negative times a negative is going to put a negative sign in front of the m to the 3rd, n to the 3rd. And we would keep working down that way to expand this entire polynomial. But the question only asks for what is the coefficient in front of m to the 5th n. And we're going to have to build Pascal's triangle to do that. And I prefer you build it because on the course assessment, you're not going to be handed it. So my first row is just ones. My second row starts with the 1, 3rd, 4th, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4th power, 5th power, 6th power. These two come together, they form a 2. Square it, multiply them together, and double it. These two come together to form 3, and these two come together to form 3. These two make 4. These two make 6. These two make 4. There's symmetry down the first half. 1 and 4 come together to make 5. 4 and 6 come together to make 10. 6 and 4 come together to make 10. 4 and 1 come together to make 5. 1 and 5 make 6. 5 and 10 make 15. 10 and 10 make 20. 15 and 6. There's symmetry on the left side with the right side. So as I'm going to pencil in my coefficients, I know that up here, the first term is going to have a coefficient of 1. The next term is going to have a coefficient of -6. Next one's going to have 15. Next one's going to have 20 in the middle there. We're going to have a 15, a 6, and a 1 again. We can finish those off, but we're able to answer the question right now. The coefficient in front of that term is -6. Let's finish the binomial, though. We'll multiply the whole thing out. I'm going to have n to the fourth. It's going to be positive with an m squared. In the next one, we have a minus sign. That minus sign is going to be from the n to the fifth power with a negative there, and my m is 1. So this is not going to be a 6, it's going to be a -6 m n to the fifth. And the last coefficient I have is a +1 because there are 6 negative signs, and so +1 n to the 6th. I'll just write n to the 6th. I've multiplied the entire polynomial out. They only asked me find the coefficient of the m to the fifth, n to the first term. My answer should be -6.